This is the story of the Backrooms. And here's what happened in detail. On the morning of 12:15, Jerry Johnson walked in the hospital. He was dealing with stomach problems and he needed the doctor. He was afraid of something. They go to the nurse and he asked the nurse, Have you seen Mr. Rubens yet? He said he needed an appointment with Mr. Rubens immediately. The nurse checked him and said, Oh yes, appointment with him, sitting in the chair. Tired and exhausted, he fell asleep. He had not slept all day. It was the middle of 12:15 in the morning. Scared enough, but he was tired. His hand went out a bit. In fright, he jumped back, terrified. He did it again. But he was so tired, he fell for the walls. He hit the ground. And right there, was tainted carpet, dirty wallpaper, smelled like pee everywhere. I tried to put my hand through it. Permanent, it couldn't go through. What the fuck? How is this possible? Where am I? I walked to the closed door. Everyone was the same. Yellow wallpaper. I went crazy. I couldn't see anyone. Everything was fine. I screamed out for help. I was yelling, help me. No one came. Nothing worked. I walked for nearly miles and miles. It felt like every room here was the same. Wallpaper. But nothing seemed to work. And then I walked further, and I heard footsteps growling. And I saw not normal footsteps. It looked like a monster. I ran. I felt like forever. I get reminded, but I still hear growling as louder as it gets. It's like he was faster than me. He was chasing me down the hallways. I ran from corridors. Everything was the same. There was no escape from the same. I started screaming, saying to someone, help me. But no one came. I couldn't take it. I was exhausted. I was tired. I needed the rest. I stood on the ground. I was terrified. I knew I couldn't escape the same. So I prayed to God. But still I could hear the footsteps walking. And when it got closer to me, I knew what it sounded like. It sounded like a monster. A big monster you heard in horror stories. A bear committed with a tiger. That's what it sounded like. A monster you hear in nightmare stories of the closets, that type of stuff. But I was terrified. I was scared. I knew the enemy. So I relaxed. I accepted my fate. I was waiting for something to happen to me. Everything was clear. Until one last thing happened to me. I heard footsteps, and I knew this would be the end of me.